Meghan Markle has used her Duchess of Sussex title to promote her long-awaited podcast on Spotify, despite retiring as a working member of the royal family more than 2 years ago. I simply can't stop laughing at the despite retiring as a working member of the RF more than 2 years ago. So, from the marriage in 2019 to hopeless Harry, she classed herself as a working RF member? Good lord, what can one say? Is that truly her definition of work? The Queen must be laughing. I would love to know what Princess Anne thinks of this. The streaming giant has premiered Archetypes, a new series in which Meghan Markle investigates the labels that try to hold women back. But towards the end of the new promotion, which lasts 1 minute and 33 seconds, there is a reference to her Duchess title. Meghan is heard saying, "You can find Archetypes, only on Spotify." Someone then says, "You hear that? Now what?" Sipping on iced coffee in an underground studio with a Duchess. In the first episode of the podcast, tennis legend and close friend Serena Williams talks with Meghan about ambition, how both women juggle motherhood, and her evolution. Also joining the conversation is Professor Laura Cray from the University of California, Berkeley, who expands on ambition as it relates to gender. The Spotify description for this episode states, Meghan talks to the one and only Serena Williams about the double standard women face when they are labeled ambitious and the ripple effect this has on other aspects of their lives. Quite funny really. The trollop obviously doesn't realize just how pathetic she has become, needing to use the title to earn a few dollars and be relevant in any way whatsoever. I guess spreading the legs was becoming less profitable as she become well worn and older. Geez, that black/white pic of her in a white tank looks like a subliminal promo for Pornhub. Or at the very least, she's inviting you to view her archetype. Ah, yes, the long-awaited poop cast. Leave it to Serena to bring up the oppression of women of color. Loved it, not, when Serena waxed eloquent on how she didn't know anyone else in the world who could take all the stuff thrown at her. Meghan. What stuff? That she's been called out on her ever-growing Pinocchio nose? I hope when Thomas Markle is gone, she is hit with a reckoning so vast and painful that it's crippling and she loses her little bitty mind. You take care of elderly parents, regardless of your perceived slights. This groundbreaking premiere episode also features Dr. Laura Cray, a leading expert on gender in the workplace. Next week's episode will feature a conversation with singing superstar Mariah Carey. In addition, Archul has also created an Archetypes site to foster community, empower listeners, and inspire change. Meghan's new Archetypes podcast series with Spotify was announced in March of this year. The series will see the Duchess of Sussex investigate the labels that try to hold women back. She will speak to historians and experts to uncover the origin of these stereotypes and have uncensored conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives. In a teaser when the series was announced, Meghan said, "This is how we talk about women, the words that raise our girls, and how the media reflects women back to us." Meghan was not born a duchess. She chose not to hang around long enough to earn the title Duchess. On choosing to leave this country, she set about trashing the RF and in so doing trashed the title Duchess, and still, she hangs on to the title Duchess like her very existence depends on it. And there is the problem she faces. But where do these stereotypes come from? And how do they keep showing up and defining our lives? This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. You'll have conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives. And they'll talk to historians to understand how we even got here in the first place. In early 2020, Meghan and her husband Prince Harry quit as working members of the royal family before moving from the UK to the US. The couple then signed their multi-year deal with streaming giant Spotify. In December of that same year, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex released a holiday special podcast episode that featured celebrity guests, as well as their young son Archie. As I mentioned, it is all about feelings now. I was 10 and 14 years younger than my siblings, but I have never referred to myself as an only child, nor did I think of myself as one. However, it appears that the strategy being used in the lawsuit with her stepsister is she felt like an only child. If the U.S. justice system allows this, then what is the world coming to? Oh, the hypocrisy. Using a title she acquired because she married a Chinese crested mutt who was a prince is holding herself back. Marrying men for financial and political advantage is not an independent woman of power but an opportunistic narcissist. The labels that hold women back. Yet she continues to cling to the label Duchess and use it to her advantage whenever she can. Why? Because it's her only claim to fame and it's making her money. That's all it ever is with this woman. She lies, and preaches about kindness, but can't show any of that to either her family or has been. She prefers to either ignore them or try to rip them apart. She dares to attempt to lecture all and sundry by pretending she knows better than everyone else. All by using the label she only received through marriage. If only she wasn't so pathetic she would offer to give up her label. As she has no intentions of that because it's such a money spinner, perhaps it's time for our RF and our government to help her out by removing her label. We can await the removal of the titles after the bill has been passed through Parliament. This cannot come soon enough. At the same time, I hope his princedom is also being removed, via Titles Deprivation Act, set up to protect the monarch from traitors and treason. Otherwise, the odious witch creature will be able to refer to herself as Princess Henry, although she'd change it to Princess Meghan. If the titles do remain, she'll still be able to refer to herself as Duchess even after the divorce, rather like Fergie styles herself as Duchess of York. So the Sussex titles must go along with his princedom. Which means she'll have literally stripped him of everything. He'll have been well and truly castrated. Without the title, she nobody, a once-upon-a-time D-rated actress in a series few saw, myself included. A divorced woman who married a broken prince reliant on his family for financial and emotional support. A woman who knew exactly what she was doing when she invited Oprah to their wedding, knowing an interview with Oprah, more than any other talk show presenter worldwide, would ensure the financial and emotional ties H needed to survive would be cut forever. Meghan is nobody without the title Duchess, not when the prince on her arm is broken and minus HRH after his name. But Meghan is what is commonly known as brass-faced and will take the hangers-on, give them free seating if necessary, to keep her face in the news, Netflix happy, and the bank balance healthy. This is to stick two fingers up, once again, to the Queen. She was told she could not use Sussex Royal and she said that the Queen didn't own the word royal. To take revenge she used the Queen's personal nickname without permission for their daughter by making the Queen believe that she was to be called Elizabeth. She is the most unscrupulous, deceitful, and malicious woman on the planet and it's way past time to send her back to the gutter where she belongs, with the other women who use men to make money, the other whores. Well, I will definitely not be listening. Sounds like she will only have Pac with her to lecture us on how our ancestors got it all wrong and how only she can educate us. I realized that there were many things done incorrectly by my ancestors. I cannot do anything to correct these wrongs but I can make sure that I do not ever do anything to repeat them. I choose not to be lectured on this, but I am all for understanding cultural competency. Loves to share the genetic pain of her ancestors because educated, polite, or frankly most people will not challenge anyone that is a Pac in a public setting, so she can make herself out to be an expert on many things. From what I have read of Bauer's book, he brings to question her memories. If we all are allowed to share feelings instead of facts, where is our world headed? It must be stopped.